and welcome to my latest video. So today we're going to be having a look at the PlayStation 1 emulated on Android. We're using my Samsung S10 Plus, which is a nice phone for doing emulation. And the system we're going to be looking at is the PlayStation 1 using ePSXe. That's the emulator that we're going to be running. So this is available on the Google Play Store. It's now into version 2.0 rather. And I find this one the best one that I've used for emulating the PlayStation. So I've already got my BIOS loaded, and that is one thing, a little caveat. You will need to have the PlayStation 1's BIOS installed on your computer. All right, so I was easily able to, I just did a quick Google search. I put in PlayStation 1 BIOS, the BIOS, and I put that in the same folder that I've got my games in. And it was as simple as that, and from that moment on, all games run fine. So here is my list of PlayStation 1 games, and what I've done, I've connected my iPega Red Knight controller. This just pairs over Bluetooth. I've done lots of videos on the iPega, and I wholeheartedly recommend it as a cheap way to control your mobile phone without having to use the touchscreen. So this is my complete PlayStation 1 library. This is all the games that I've got on here, and I've put on some of the classics that I remember playing when I first had a PlayStation 1. In fact, back in the day when the PlayStation 1 was around, I actually sold them brand new, the consoles, in my store. So I remember it very well. We used to have the Tomb Raider demo playing on that one. So what should we choose as the first game to have a little blast of then? It's so difficult, but one I really used to like was Tekken 3. Let's have a blast of this. Now it's actually picked up from the last time I played it, in actual fact. So that's quite cool, because they're straight into the game. You can see just how cool it is. Am I gonna... Yes. Now, Tekken 3 was the first real fighter I remember just working my way through to the end, because it was just such good fun. Trying to do it with all the different characters. Excellent stuff. Let's see how we get on with this one. But what I'd like to do with these videos, rather than just focus on a handful of games, is do lots of games, just show you a little bit of gameplay of each one, just so you see how the emulator handles each game, even ones which are supposedly quite tough to emulate, such as Tekken 3 is apparently a tougher one. But something like the Android S10 now, the Samsung S10, you know, is multiple times more powerful than a PlayStation. And it shouldn't really have any sort of difficulty at all handling something like this. Anyway, I'm not going to play that final round, because we're going to move on to the next one. So, what should we play next then? Let's see. Shall we have a go at Darius? Now, Darius was a game I absolutely loved at the time. It's a side-on shooter. It's from Japan. It's quite difficult, but it's a lot of fun. Absolutely a lot of fun. And when you get good at it and you start to know the patterns, it's great. It's a side-scrolling shmup, so a shoot 'em up. Here we are. Great fun, this one. The The big thing with the Darius games was that they have massive bosses at the end. Huge bosses, which are quite tough to defeat. So hopefully I can get far enough to get to at least the first boss. But I wouldn't guarantee it. I'm a bit out of practice with this one. And as I said, like a lot of schmucks, you need to remember the roots before you can, the patterns of these games before you get good at them. In Japan, they did recently re-release a compilation of Darius games for the Nintendo Switch, and they forgot to include this one, so I was a bit gutted at that. But that's G Darius, an absolute classic, and that one does come recommended. I do like that as a schmuck. Let's have a look at the next one then. So, what should we try next? We've got an Intellivision one there. There's a Judge Dredd game, Marble Madness. That's another beat 'em up Marble. Metal Slug, well, you've probably seen that. This is quite a good one, Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness. You wouldn't think that a Pac-Man game would be that great, but this one is actually quite a lot of fun. And we should be able to get into a game quite quickly on it. Hopefully we'll be able to skip these cutscenes and get straight down to the action. Blasting my way through these as quickly as possible. Here we go. Although a lot of this seems a bit irrelevant. It's just giving a bit of backstory to the game. But once you actually get into the game, such as now, it's more like traditional Pac-Man, but it's good stuff, this, I tell you. So you can zoom in and out of the maze. It's asking me to go into there, but I can't get there yet. So I'm going to need to finish the rest of the maze, I reckon. And by going through one of these little portals, it transforms you into the next bit. As you can see, there you go, you're back. So, I have played this one before. It does come recommended. It's actually not a bad, if you like a bit of Pac-Man, which I do, it's not a bad little take on the format. And that's Miss Pac-Man. Well, Hard Trilogy was a huge hit for the PlayStation 1, absolutely massive. So I think we'd be doing it an injustice if we didn't at least give it a try. I'm not sure how quickly we'll be able to get into the game, but obviously the Die Hard films were massive back in the 80s and early 90s. Or Bruce Willis as John McClane. Well, it's been many years since I've played this one. But I remember it was a huge hit in its day. I mean, absolutely massive. Loads of people were playing it, so I wonder how... Level 1, the garage, right, okay, this brings it back.
NYPD! Hey, this isn't even my jurisdiction. Get him!
There we are. I'm assuming these are all bad guys, but I'm not 100% sure.
Don't let him get away.
Well, he's shooting at me, so I'm assuming he's a bad guy. And I would imagine I'm going to have to clear the bottom row of the garage here before I jump in the elevator. Oh. Who's this? There's some hostages in there. I'm going to have to try and get them.
Get the hell out of here! Get him!
There's a lot of bad guys, isn't there? It's like 20 against 1. But it's okay. You know, I'm John McLean. I tell you what, very, very responsive. It's really easy to control. Really, really easy to control. The hostage escaped, so I guess that's a good thing. There we are. Doom, well, we've done something like that. We've done Darius, Gauntlet, Ghost in the Shell. In television, well, we don't really want to play them, but I do love all my old retro games. This is, you see these ones that spell Namco, that's the Namco Museum Collection, which have all got classic arcade perfect games on. We've done Pac-Man World. Now Pandemonium, so that was a platformer I loved as when I first had my PlayStation 1, and they did a follow-up, Pandemonium 2, and it's like a sort of 2D, not 3D, 2D isometric platformer where you do sort of follow a course. Eidos, which was most famous for publishing Tomb Raider around this time, and this is a very, very accomplished platformer for its day, and was absolutely great fun. I see this actually does come with a Tomb Raider 3 demo and Gex video and a Kuji demo as well, so that's quite cool. But we're interested in Pandemonium. Level 1, Skull Fortress. That's what we've got to play with today. Now, you've got your normal jump, and you just sort of go left and right. There's no way to come off this path. Oh dear. I seem to remember you jump on there at the flower tops' heads and you can get like a boost that way. Maybe I was wrong. Let's just try and go through the maze a bit more, so you get to see a little bit more of what the actual game's like, rather than me sucking at it. Well, I don't see how I'm supposed to get through this. I don't think I can get high enough. Ah, there we are. You have to sort of do a double jump. But you see the way the there's no actual, you have to sort of follow the route. It's like an on rails, that's what they call it, isn't it? It's an on rails platformer. This is Pandemonium. But once you've got the hang of the controls, it really is a great game, I assure you of that. Dead again. Anyway, on to the next one. Right, let's give another one a go. I don't think we'd be doing ourselves an injustice if we had a quick go at this, what's called Strikers 1945. This is one of those ones that was like, it was a top-down shooter. There was, I think, 1941, 1942. There was lots of versions in the arcade. And lo and behold, the PlayStation 1 got its own edition, as you would expect. Here we are, Strikers 1945. Here we go. And obviously there's versions of this on pretty much every system, but it is particularly good on the PlayStation 1, I think you'll agree. Here we go. There we are. So it's always important to get your power-ups. If you can. And as is usual with these sorts of games, it's fast and frenetic. I'm just wondering if it's easier to play with the joystick analog controller rather than the buttons. Basically everything on the screen is destructible. You can blow it all up, which is cool as you like. So I've had lots of power-ups already. That's the sort of level of guns I like. Oh God, did you see all that? This is tough. This is tough, but if you're like me and you like your schmucks, you'll love this one. That's pretty good stuff. I'm not going to have another go, but it's good stuff. Okay, so I think we've got time for just one more game, and we're going to have a look at Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes. Now, this is a game that's had a few sequels, but I believe this was the very first Marvel vs. Capcom game. And basically it takes the classic Marvel Universe superhero characters, puts them together with the classic Capcom characters through the arcade, the Neo Geo, and their various beat-em-ups, and puts them together in a straight-up brawl. So we should hopefully be able to get started fairly quickly. So on a Venom, okay. Okay. So obviously comic book style-y. I'm ready. So I'm playing against Mega Man. Seem to be doing all right at the moment. I suppose it's only Mega Man after all, isn't it? Or did I speak too soon? Anyway, as you can see, the emulator handles something like this really, really well. And I hope that the games that we've looked at today will inspire you to download your own copy of ePSXe, that brilliant PlayStation emulator. Like a lot of these games now, since the loss of Emu Paradise, they do seem to be available, including PlayStation 1 games, at freeroms.com. So check freeroms.com out if you're looking for games. So you can do official backups of the games that you own, of course. I try and publish these retro gaming videos every couple of weeks, so look out for them. Do please subscribe and do drop a like down below if you have enjoyed this video. And I look forward to seeing you again soon for some more retro game goodness. Don't forget, if you do want to get yourself one of these iPega Red Knight controllers, I've got a direct link to get one off Amazon or eBay in the description down below. I'll see you again soon. Bye.